I'm James O'Keefe, and this is vouching for 7 other Muslims at a Minneapolis polling booth.
We're going in to this location, and I'm going to say that I'm vouching for them. The name is William Lawrence.
The question about the vouching program, vouching. I can vouch for them, but they are not registered. That's okay, that's fine. Can I bring 5 more from up to 8 people? Okay, that's a good thing. We go back and we get Krishna and Ernesto and Mohammed.
In Minnesota, you can show up on Election Day and vouch for up to 8 unregistered voters. Members of the Justice League dress up in traditional Muslim attire, including a transgender wearing a burqa, disgusting, and put this vouching law to an extreme test on primary day, August 11th.
And there we go.
And it doesn't get more clear than that. I mean, I saw this last night with Cam Higbee. I watched it.
Yeah, he's got another clip here I thought we could share too if you wanted to. Just kind of giving a little bit of the inside.
Yeah.
Hello.
Have you voted here before?
No.
No. Okay, well, go down to where it says voting, take a right, and they'll help you out in there. Hello.
Hello.
Register over there. Hello, what is your last name?
Is that and what is your first name?
Genevieve.
Genevieve?
And vouch.
I'm sorry?
Vouch.
She's vouching.
I vouch.
Oh, for her? And is she Genevieve?
No.
So are you wanting to vote first? You're gonna have to make a phone call.
Yes. But can she vote if I vouch?
No, good luck. Does she live within this precinct?
Yes.
Yep, we can get her registered. Okay. So are you wanting to vote first though?
Yes, but vouch for her.
Okay.
So she vote. So if I vouch, she vote.
Okay. Bye.
Is that right?
Yep.
Can I vote without ID?
Yes, if you're already in the system,
Okay. Okay.
then you can vote.
Ooh.
If you're already in the system.
Hold on. I just need to point this out.
Dude, it's just crazy. I mean, I think they should dress up as superheroes and come in, because the burqa guy clearly was a man with his voice and man hands, and it didn't really matter. Nothing mattered. The only thing that they were concerned with was letting anybody on the planet Earth vote in that primary.
Question. Do you think their security might have upped a tick if, like, say, a MAGA hat was involved?
Oh, dude, they would have demanded birth certificates at that point. They would have had you spread eagle on the floor with a proctologist flown in from Minneapolis and the Somali medical community.
Yeah, instead, perfect. So it said you can have
Well,
a full
he
14
said, to be honest with you, Higbee said when he walked in with the burqa, they were effusive and more welcoming to him than any other person in the precinct. In other words, they were overjoyed to have this phony woman that you couldn't identify with slits for eyes come into their precinct. It was almost like he was a rock star, he said.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
I encourage everybody to, definitely check that out. I didn't want to go too deep into all of it, but this is what made James O'Keefe famous. Remember, he went in undercover for Andrew Breitbart for the Acorn event back in like 2009.
Yeah, he destroyed Acorn.
Yeah, and literally they did shut down that whole organization after his work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to see him, back at it again with the camera. Somebody asked, "Are cameras allowed?" I don't know. I guess they are.
That was a hidden camera.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the laws are in Minnesota about the 2-factor. Blah blah blah.
He always uses hidden cameras.
Yeah,
that's what he vows. I mean, for everything.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like in California, he'd probably get dinged for it, or whatever. Like even Nick Shirley knows. Nick Shirley's walking around with an actual camera. He's hidden about it. He's got a crew.
Well, the Nick Shirley Act now forbids you from filming with a regular camera. Corruption, it says.
Right, because the
God
hidden camera, it wasn't enough to stop that.
Right. An actual camera. I mean, like I said before on this show, Mike Wallace wouldn't have a career if it was based on California law today at 60 Minutes. Because they used hidden camera all the time. 60 Minutes. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Until they got entrenched in one party politics. Then they said, let's do away with it, because the only ones who would theoretically be doing it is dem on dem violence. In other words, who is going to do it to them? Other Democrats, if they allowed it. And to eliminate that and solidify power, they simply banned it. And the LA Times banned it as well, like in 2004, saying you couldn't do reporting with hidden cameras or hidden microphones.
Yeah, no, I agree. By the way, it wasn't just 60 Minutes. Local news stations.
Oh, sure.
John Stossel, made it.
Absolutely.
2020. I mean,
Yep.
It was very common. So it is a sad state that we're in. But again, that's where the commerce and the news are colliding. And Cheryl Atkinson, I recommend anybody check out her books. Any of them are very good. She covered a lot of how the turn came, and it was back in like 2008 to 2010. And a lot of it wasn't a left-right thing. It was a corporate thing. Like Boeing was sponsoring a lot of the news stations, and they were the ones coming out saying, hey, how dare you talk to mechanics in Tucson about, the flight lines and things like that. And she had a major story spiked on CBS News. Again, major advertiser back, Boeing, things like that.
Yeah, and I'll add that part of it was racial. The LA Times and the New York Times did away with the race profiles of actual active criminals who were being sought by police. They banned the description of African Americans editorially. And there was a case in Malibu where a guy had shot someone and was going on the run with police chasing him house by house in Malibu, a black dude. And the LAPD finally put out a description of him, because they didn't sign up for this, as a 6'4" black guy and blah, blah, blah. LA Times refused to describe him because of racial sensitivities. This was a run and gun situation, and everybody's life was in danger in Malibu because of this. They refused to let the people there know what the guy looked like.
Yeah, Nate, our friend Nate, the lawyer, has talked about that, his time as a cop, even, because this has trickled down to people. And he said, he's talked to witnesses who came up saying,
do they look like
ran
me?
That way. He's like, can you describe him? I think he had a green shirt on and he was tall. Okay. What can you tell me more? And then Nate finally gave up. He's like, did he look like me? And he's tapping his skin color. And they're like,
I think that happens in Witness too. I think where the boy points to the black guy as an example of who the guy was looking for, Harrison Ford. So it is in the pop culture.
Oh yeah.
Although that was an older movie.
No, I remember Witness from the 80s, if I recall. All right, before we go any further, I wanted to address something with the channel itself, and right out the gate. Tuesday, we did a story about a girl.
It's a sad story, but it's a good story.
Yeah, she saved 3 people from drowning, and it was a follow-up with another story, about the boy who went to the White House and everything. And hey, a feel-good moment. This story happens. Well, it turns out that Como News and Sinclair Broadcasting did a copyright hit on the channel. Now, we have gotten copyright claims before, and it can be aggravating. Sometimes I'll tell you, hey, you know what? If you don't see anything now, that's because somebody came after us, and I just delete it because it's like, I don't want to find it. So this one came in yesterday, and I said, fine, whatever, just delete. Okay, we'll just delete it. In the evening, they did a copyright strike on the channel. Now, I just want to explain to folks, a copyright strike is a direct attack on the channel. And literally, if you get 3 strikes, the channel is taken down. So anybody,
Well, luckily
they're a
right of center politically news organization.
Yeah, supposedly
They're considered conservative news, by the way.
Sinclair too. Okay, I know.
Oh
Salem
no,
is.
absolutely. Sinclair definitely is like Newsmax.
Oh, okay. Well, guess what? They're assholes. I'm
Right.
sorry.
No,
I don't
I'm
care
not,
what
not
side of the aisle you're
absolving
on. When you
not
attack
absolving
us
them
for
but
coverage,
originally I thought that it could have been because of Washington State and Seattle, Eric. I thought possibly that Como was a left-wing local station, but it's not. It's a conservative, right of center local news station owned by Sinclair.
Yeah, and Sinclair did it. But anyway, I just wanted everybody to know I have re-uploaded it, and I'm fighting the claim. We've been claimed before. This channel that you're watching right now is a second version because really early on we had a director who did not like our Elliott Smith coverage.
That douche.
That douche. So we're fighting it, but it really means a lot. All the support that you give us, and just please share it. Please help the word get out because we're fighting against our own side, it appears. Even
it doesn't matter.
Conservative stuff just taking it down.
Money doesn't care. Money doesn't care. It swears.
I
keep
agree.
that in mind. I mean, Sinclair, I guess, is just doesn't really care about political allies.
No, I guess not. And God forbid that we spread the story and share it about a girl saving lives.
Dude, what is fair use to Sinclair? I don't understand. How long was the entire clip?
1 minute 29 seconds.
Way too long for Sinclair. Their limit is 3 seconds. You went
Apparently.
beyond the 3 second mark.
Apparently, even though it falls completely within law and fair use and everything, and I'm doing it because of YouTube's system. They don't ask questions. It gets reported, and then they just strike. And
I don't even blame YouTube for this one.
You can't. I blame them for having a system that
of course,
does the strike, but they're not the people who pulled the trigger.
Right, they're not the trigger pullers.
All right.
Pull the
this is actually a terrible segue to leave off on trigger puller. But in the news lately, across the pond, there's been a giant DEI story. We haven't really talked about it a lot. A lot of people have reached out to me on the side and different things, but it is a former professor now by the name of Jason Arday. And Jason Arday, the former Cambridge University professor accused of plagiarism, has been found dead today. Now, this guy his story has kind of been the DEI cover story, where he is the youngest ever Cambridge professor. Apparently, as a kid, he was an autistic, unable to speak, had a huge, arc of a story of overcoming that, becoming getting his degree and then becoming a professor. He has a book coming out. I don't know if it's actually come out, but in the galleys, people were just shredding him for a lot of claims, like running
the 600 miles
in like a handful of days, when like the ultra runners of the world, there's no way they were going to run. Anyway, he obviously exaggerated a ton of claims, but this one has really caught on like nothing I had seen before. The Telegraph, all kinds of news organizations went after him, and it kind of has a tragic ending. He was found dead today. I don't know the reason. It's all speculation, but the way people were piling on and the way this story had so many legs, I had a bad feeling that it might not come out well. And I kind of feel terrible about the situation.
You do?
Yeah, in a way, because obviously he did a lot, he brought on a lot of shame for himself, but the story has grown to pretty big proportions. And
I think
hate
the
to
flip
see it.
side of the story is the black school superintendent down in Texas who held a press conference and broke down sobbing that his students couldn't read. To give you the flip political side of this story, of a guy who gave his entire life to teaching students in the inner city and just had a press conference. Larry Elder covered this extensively on his radio show yesterday that I listened to. And the guy started breaking down, crying that no one in his class could read even a paragraph and comment on it. And he was attacked for being a fraudulent teacher. And he put all his degrees online, including his 2 master's degrees and everything else, to prove who he was out of Houston, and maybe you know, down there in Nate the Lawyer country. This guy is a hero. This guy's an American hero, and he is only the first teacher to ever do this, to simply break the cone of silence and come out and tell the truth about what's going on.
Yeah, let's we'll hear.
So I am on my lunch break. It is, I don't know, 11:30 or something like that. And I just finished a 3-hour class. We have what's called block, and block is where first and second periods are combined for subjects that need it. And so I literally broke down in the middle of class because I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. We had 2 paragraphs to read, 1 sentence complete to write. I gave them the sentence stems. I basically completed the sentence for them in the model. These are 17 and 18-year-old kids, and they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words.
Anyway,
yeah, I mean, it's brutal, and he's a hero for coming out and saying what has been happening in every inner city school in the country. There's a ban of silence by these teachers who are getting paid enormous amounts of money, over $100,000 a year in many cases. They work, obviously they're off in the summer, but many of them know the truth that he is talking about and refuse to say anything about it. This is a guy that I love compared to the guy from Cambridge, who I feel nothing for, positive or negative.
I do feel for the guy, and let me explain why, because I think this guy's a hero. I think that the guy from Cambridge is one of the poor students that this guy is talking about.
Oh, probably true.
And the system itself put him in there and then addressed it. So that's where I'm saying the tragedy is. This Jason Arde, I think, was misserved by the system, rewarding him for something he didn't do.
We would have to.
This guy, sadly, is going to, be ignored by the same system, and he's talking
not just ignored,
a school
attacked.
That got an A grade.
He was attacked viciously, Eric.
Of course they will.
And I didn't see that coming, and neither did he. So apparently, he had to put up all his credentials online and he says. And there's a couple of other follow-ups that he did. He says, if you think you can do a better job than me, go at it. Go at it. Get your 2 master's degrees, get your license in education, and go for it. He said, I can't continue to be silent about this any longer.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it's a horrible situation.
The people who called into Larry Elder's show afterwards were local in LA, and they were adult males, ethnic males, some Latino, some Black. And they said they were in their 30s now, and they said they went through the same thing in high school, and they couldn't get a job when they got out. And they were going into detail for Larry as how the same thing happened to them in LAUSD. And then he he plays the interview from the debate with Antonio Villagrosa, who was the former mayor, saying, I'm not sending my kids to LAUSD public schools because I don't want to make them a human sacrifice. And then he pointed out that inner city school teachers, despite the percentage nationally, which is 10% of American families send their kids to private school. The number is 10% nationally. Guess what it is for school teachers? 49% of 90. 49%.
If they can afford it.
They can afford it. That's part of why I'm saying they make over $100,000 a year, and they're sending their kids to private schools at a rate 39% higher than the average American.
To be fair, Mark, the teachers near you are making over 100,000 a year, depending on where you are. There are a lot of teachers in the country that are making 40, 50, thousand a year.
Show me the inner city, the big inner city in New York, where they're making in the country. I'm talking about inner cities, not not in the middle of North Dakota. The inner city teachers that he is part of, Houston, Detroit, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, over 100,000 per year for teachers. And the teachers union is what got them that money. The strangulation comes from the democratic machine of the teachers union, who the head of the school teachers union in LA said famously in an LA magazine interview a year and a half ago, she doesn't give a shit about reading, writing, or arithmetic. It's all about social justice. That's the head of the teachers union here. It's saying we don't care about reading and writing and arithmetic to teach these kids. She said that's not our purpose. And now we're seeing the purpose come to fruition.
Okay. Well, and again, I'm not disputing that. And the unions, that's absolutely true. And it's been proven out because charter schools, and sorry to segue, but Nate has talked about this too, in the Bronx, for example, charter schools not only were proven to be effective, they flipped some neighborhoods from being the worst to actually being the best.
Oh, of course.
And the unions attacked them like crazy.
Oh, it's their cross to a vampire.
So, and that's not the kid. It is the system itself. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of black families send their kids to Catholic school simply for the education.
Well, yeah, not just black. I mean, just a lot of families, period, because that might be the only private school option in a lot of areas are Catholic schools, and they tend to be pretty good as a whole. So, yeah, obviously a bad situation. But then, going to private schools and having a great education, that doesn't mean you're going to come out okay, too. I'm willing to bet that this next headline, Luigi Mangione pleads guilty in killing of UnitedHealthcare boss Brian Thompson as his widow sobs in court. I shot Mr. Thompson.
Well, you have to add that I shot Mr. Thompson because my back hurt. He gave an explanation as for his motivation. He said he had a bad back. And that's why he shot and killed him. That's how weak this generation is, where if anything causes them discomfort, they will go to the extreme of killing a man with a wife and kids, because this particular guy who had incredible wealth behind him, the idea that he struggled with healthcare costs is absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And his reasoning that he had a chronic backache makes it almost laughable if it wasn't so sick.
I agree. And he even talked about how he called in to figure out where he was, lured him out. But that's, you see, this is what I was complaining about with Kohberger. That's an allocution. He couldn't just plea and say, okay, yeah, I didn't know. It was like, what did you do? How did you do that? I think that's a very important factor, because then later on he can't say, oh, they were just stupid or whatever. His voice to the world in the court said that I did it, whatever lame reason it might be. He did state that he did it.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm also glad, and he's already acknowledged, he's looking at life without parole
Oh yeah,
on the federal side. So
def.
whatever happens with the state, at least the son of a bitch is in prison.
Well, it eliminates jury nullification. It eliminates his groupies. It eliminates his high-paid lawyers. There was no other way for this case to end other than a plea deal. I'm surprised the state and the feds gave him a plea deal instead of going to the max on this case. But I guess that's the current state of affairs.
Well, they tried. The feds did, and it got thrown out because they were trying for the death penalty. And I think he said he pled out to get life in prison because, from what I understand, if a felon has to choose between a state prison and a federal prison, the federal time is much better than the state time.
The point I'm trying to make is his plea now negates that they never should have taken the death penalty off the table. In other words, the judge did that by now him saying he was laying in wait, planning premeditated murder. Every single thing he said indicates the need and the perfect case for the death penalty.
Oh, yeah.
In other words, he just undermined the judge in the case taking the death penalty off the table by saying, I premeditatedly killed this man. I mean, it makes a sham of a mockery of a sham of the judge.
It does, but it was a weird case because the federal charge was stalking technically, because the killing is actually the state charge. So they managed to at least get the stalking elevated all the way up, but they tried to kind of do a felony murder charge by tying it to the stalking to do the state case. And
my question is, what justifies the death penalty in the state of New York, if not this? Why do you even have it on the books if a case of this magnitude does not warrant the death penalty? What does?
Well, I agree.
What does?
In New York, they don't even have first-degree murder unless you kill a cop. You're the one that told me that, right?
Well, no. That's kind of an urban rule of thumb. That's not the law. But I mean, it may be the law. Maybe I'll take that back. Maybe it is the law.
Okay.
Maybe it is the law.
And I was going to say that technically the murder is a state crime. Like Tyler Robinson is not being charged federally. He might still. He's being charged by Utah. And the feds stepping in or at least getting him in prison. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
So, and it's not the DOJ's fault. You're right about the judge, but
well, Candace felt that the guy's innocent because that wasn't his target or something. I didn't really follow that logic of Miss Owens regarding the targeting of this, of her moving the goalposts every week as to her theories as to, I guess that she must have such an enormous audience that is enveloped by these crazed theories that she's just going to keep it going as long as the money comes in.
Candace, yes. The great debate between Candace Owens and Andrew Wilson on Patrick Bet David is earlier today. I listened to a while of it. Sadly, I feel dumber on account of it and regret that. Everybody feel free, check it out. Have a nice time. I didn't find it super validating in any way. So,
interesting.
But check it out. I know there's a lot of interest from a lot of people in there. I found it very frustrating to hear. One particularly low point, ironically, isn't even something she said or Andrew Wilson said. It was a clip that she wanted to quote with Robert O'Neill, I believe his name is, the SEAL who's credited with killing Osama bin Laden. They were playing a clip of his to supposedly substantiate one of her claims. And Robert O'Neill's first words were, "I've killed a lot of people." And as a former soldier, I was sickened to hear that. Who comes out bragging about killing a lot of people? I know we have soldiers in the audience and special forces type. That is only a psychopath to start out that way. So that was a particularly low point. And then there was plenty other between them that was just garbage too. But back to our news here, and we'll stay in with New York. Oh wait, this isn't New York. Sorry. You sent me this one. RFK Jr. goes nuclear over LA's homeless agency as feds threaten to cut off $240 million.
Yeah, that's the LA Homeless Association that is being funded by the feds through NGOs, where I said last week the woman running it was making $1.6 million a year and living in Honolulu in a high-rise building, and another one that she bought for her mother, not even living, and I'm not talking about second house. She's not even living in the state of California, this bitch. And he is, a judge has stopped this, a Biden judge, by the way, or Obama judge this morning. This is from August 11th. This morning stopped them in the critocracy from running the government itself. In other words, the judges actually run the government. The judges will do whatever the judges want to do. And they are unelected, deep state, bureaucratic officials who actually run the country.
Love it.
But he did order under HHS, the suspension of pouring money into this corrupt, bottomless pit.
It's gotten so insane anymore. It's like any policy that is ever created, they almost just need to have the legal team have the pre-filed motion right on hand. Like, it's like,
not only that, they
announce a policy, wait for the stupid judge somewhere from saying something, and then file the damn appeal. It's like you
can't run a government like this on either political party. You cannot run a country like this, regardless of the issues. You can't have a judge stopping the president every 6 minutes, or the Congress, or anything else. Why don't they just admit it's a critocracy and call it a day? It worked for the Irish in the 5th century. It goes back to biblical times. There are many cultures that had critocracies. Just admit what it is. We are a critocracy, and debate that, but not identifying the problem doesn't help.
Yeah, you know what? I forgot where I heard it, because this has been going on now for a while, with Trump. It would be an interesting exercise, because I believe constitutionally speaking, only one person is required, and that's right, Roberts, technically.
Yeah.
But you could go further and just say, you know what? We're going to eliminate all federal judges except for the Supreme Court.
It's something I would support.
Make them scramble all over the place. That would be an interesting thing to see if it could be done. But
there's a lot of different ideas, but they got to do something. By the way, I don't know if you saw, which I didn't, the interview by Miller's wife of
I did.
The Secretary of State and his wife.
Yes, I have a clip that I was going to bring up later.
Oh, cool.
So, actually, that's going to be a segue, by the way.
Okay.
That's going to be a segue to our torn from the headlines when we go to locals later, actually.
Okay, well, I just want to give some update on this nonstop media assault on the economy before the midterms. And I know a lot of people feel that they're not susceptible to brainwashing, but I am, Eric is, and everyone else is. The media, and they did this under Jimmy Carter as well. After Jimmy Carter, the first 2 years of Reagan's presidency, they went full bore, the media, saying that Reagan was incompetent on the economy. And what Reagan was dealing with was the leftovers from the Carter economy, if you follow what I'm saying. However, the media conspired to undermine Reagan for the midterms back in 1980, 81, 82, to have them win the midterms. They have taken a page out of that playbook. If you go to any of the left channels, it is 24/7 about the economy being completely in tatters. And I just wanted to give, and I've heard this from people on the right, that it's in tatters. And I just want to give you some numbers for relevancy's sake for 5 seconds here. In 2021, in January, Trump handed over to Biden an inflation economy at 2.4% inflation.
In the middle of COVID, full COVID.
Whatever you want to say.
Whatever you want to add. It was already bad.
Whatever you want to add. Biden took that to the record high of 9.1%. He also took the gas prices to $5.15 nationally. The gas at 239 when Trump took office is now at 407, and the inflation rate is now at 3.4% under Trump. In 2024, again, the price of eggs under Biden, $3.17. Right now, under Trump, the price of eggs, $2.19. I need to be emphatic about this to cut through the commie bullshit about the economy. They're gaslighting everyone, and people on the right are buying it. Even at this heightened state of Middle East trouble, the gas is still over $1 cheaper than under the Biden administration. Shut the fuck up and vote Republican. Stop crying. Your numbers are not real. You're buying into this commie media blast that's 24/7 now that Trump can't run the economy. He can't overcome, even with the bully pulpit, Eric, the nonstop trumpeting by the media of this false narrative.
Yes. And
anyway, I just chose a couple of usual markers of economy.
No,
there's other markers. I'm just showing you some of the regular markers that we use as a culture.
No, I agree. What I was going to say, though, is there is some hope in this mix.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is that we were just talking on Tuesday, and I think even last week, I said the Republicans, in my opinion, are doing better for the midterms than anybody could expect right now.
I agree.
So perhaps the continuous onslaught that you're describing, which is absolutely true, isn't necessarily taking as strong of a hold as they had hoped, and that's why it's getting shriller and shriller.
Right.
And
I mean,
shriller
I've heard it from conservative friends who said the people are hurting. When is Trump going to help them? And I'm just going like, what? I mean, how much more can he help them? He's gotten inflation down from 9.1 to 3.4% in less than 2 years. He's gotten eggs reduced in prices, and these numbers are astronomical how quickly he did it, Eric.
By the way, also, you forgot to mention that while it was going down, the Fed rate went up.
Yeah.
I forgot how many times because he was in a battle with the Fed on the issue.
Yeah.
So he raised it or left the same like 2 or 3 times. So it wasn't just like drop the rates to zero. Like, remember,
there's
zero for a minute.
There's a lot of parallels. They felt so strongly about this, the Democrats, that they ran Walter Mondale against Reagan. And he lost 49 states in the biggest landslide in Democratic political history. And the same echoes seem to be happening now with a lot of Mondale type candidates circulating around for the Democratic nomination.
I get one thing that I've always thought there was a parallel between Biden and Carter, but I'm gonna reframe it a little bit because it gets confusing. I'm gonna say that Biden had the skills of Carter and the corruption of Johnson.
Well, I know he has the corruption of Johnson. I can't judge his skills.
That's what I was saying. But then the skills of Carter.
He came out of the Senate. He was a governor, Carter. So the matching up the skill set is a little apples and oranges for me. But the corruption of Biden compared to Johnson is not. I mean, it's even more than Johnson did.
In some ways, yeah. All right. Well, speaking of Rubio, I did want to cover this. I thought this was brilliant. I guess his birthday was yesterday. If it was today,
I didn't know that. I didn't know
that. This is what was given to him by the White House. They did a
That's funny. That's funny.
Picture of all these memes of him on that chair, which is such a classic moment.
Classic.
And then signed it. They all signed their individual panes with the
That's brilliant.
Memes. So this is a hell of
What's
a
the one on the top row there in the orange?
He's like in a monkey suit.
Yeah, what is that one? Bill Tiffany.
I don't even know that. He's Mario down here. I mean, there's so many different things. He's a penguin. I mean,
He's an angel there with wings in the middle.
yes, he is. Well, and then now they're saying he's the new press secretary. No, anyway,
I'm
McDonald.
sorry to see her leave. She was so good.
He's a king. Yeah. Well, you know what? They had some interesting speculation on that, and I think there may be something to it. That she's as good as she is as a press secretary. Apparently, she's even better on the road as a spokesperson.
Okay. I could see that. I could see that.
You could put her for the midterms all over the place
as a surrogate
because she's not on the payroll, she's independent and she can say whatever the hell she wants to say or needs to say
for the
candidates. And then after the midterms, and this is the theory they were putting forth, after the midterms, Trump's like calls her back home, like, we have to have you. You need to come back home, come back to the White House.
I could see that. I could see that.
That would be a pretty smooth, maneuver to do, because just have different guest hosts, if you will, for the press secretary, like they did when she was on maternity leave. So they almost did a trial run of that. Yeah, have a good deputy, and then just have different people. Have Marco come out and everybody come out just for the.
It's kind of like having the guest host on the Tonight Show. They rotated the seat, and everybody got a shot, from Joan Rivers to George Carlin.
Exactly. And then use her where she's super strong.
For that. Yeah.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that. Okay, now, while we're talking about Biden and his taste in judges and then things like that, here's the perfect headline: extremism expert hailed as terrific by ex-Biden official slapped with federal charges.
Oh boy.
This is our SPLC, and isn't she a sexy one? Let's see.
Henry will introduce our new set of recommended policies and then moderate a conversation with 3 terrific leaders who are dedicating themselves to fighting the spread of extremism and speech online, something that we have seen we all need to do.
The wonderful Heidi Beirich.
She's great.
If you don't know who Heidi Beirich is, you actually do, because she leads the Southern Poverty Law Center's intelligence project.
Well, the intelligence
which,
division
publishes the award-winning intelligence report and
great report
Hate Watch blog.
Right.
They're the folks who put together the map of all hate groups. In the country.
That was helpful. I remember that.
That's
map.
Heidi's team, and
right on.
they also are kind of the leading organization that identifies.
She was living
what
with a
are
Nazi.
hate groups
exactly.
So she is really probably the nation's foremost.
Keep an eye on it.
Well, yeah. I mean, how do you recognize it?
She was banging a Nazi. The chick, the head of the Southern Poverty Law Center. That's above and beyond her job description. It doesn't say bang a Nazi.
But it got to gather intelligence somehow, Mark. So
I think she was paying him a lot of money too while banging him.
Oh, well, yeah.
To
she's
her,
not going to just live with somebody somewhere. No. It's got to be
for that fat blimp. The Nazi is probably the greatest sex she ever had in her life.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
No, he may have been in great shape as a Nazi. He might have been Aryan. Who knows? He might have been working out. And she now, can get intelligence out of him going undercover.
You know what she reminds me of? Using that same theory. Those female prison guards that help the inmates escape?
Oh, yeah, very true. Very true.
I'm sorry.
By the way, there were multiple arrests of city mayors today by the FBI that I don't know if you've got that story, but the mayor of Oakland was arrested, and the mayor of, I think it's Lawrence, Massachusetts was arrested, all for corruption. And I pray to God they come for Karen Bass at some point, because yet another LA city councilman is going to prison. I think this is the 4th one. And the feds are just doing a bang-up job going after urban Democratic corruption. And you got to tip your hat to the head of the FBI for doing this. I don't hear many people congratulating him. This is the cat out of Lawrence, Massachusetts. He was taken down for stealing all the pandemic loan money and using it for his campaign. FBI got him this morning, and then the head of the Mongs, the head of the Mongs up in Oakland was arrested because she was involved with a sanitation carding scam, pay for play, And they took her down with her belongings today up in Oakland, one of the most corrupt cities in American history. So that's two today.
Didn't they arrest another one in Oakland, or is this the same one? Because I know
this is
that
the same one. This is the same one. She was kicked out of office, and then this 90-year-old black woman took over temporarily.
I see. Yeah, and by the way, to be fair to Kash Patel, he has said from the beginning, even during his confirmation, etc., that he is all about crime. He's
doing it, Eric.
White collar, FBI, that and child, the trafficking are like, and
right.
fentanyl.
And they will keep going back into MacArthur Park here. Just when you thought it was over, they had another raid the other night. They are unrelentingly going to clean up this park come hell or high water of drug dealers and users in downtown LA. I think they've had like 6 raids on this park in the past year. It's become a symbol of their efficiency. So I think they really want to make an example that this park is going to be given back to parents and children as soon as they're done rounding these people up.
I think that's great, though. When you have a known area, it's kind of like where there's always that road that all the prostitutes are, or there's always that road where something is. So everybody knows about it. Everybody in their mind knows about it. So when you're busting people there, the visual is much stronger, and people feel like, oh, you're doing something about it because it's a well-known visual area. At least
the feds are also going after the dog killers on Skid Row because the state and city refused to do anything, using them as testing pincushions for fentanyl. The Fed is now moving in to take the pets and dogs away from the homeless.
Which is good. That's probably the sadly the dog killers are just living in the wrong area, because apparently a individual who just won his primary is known as quote unquote slaughterhouse. Abdul El Sayed's sickening dog euthanasia scandal resurfaces.
Yeah, as head of the medical community in Detroit, he was the head. His doctor comes from a PhD in Marxist urban planning, but he also oversaw Detroit Animal Care and Control from his position as medical supervisor of the city of Detroit. And Detroit statistically has the highest number of killed dogs in their pound of any city in the country. That he oversaw this, and nobody hates dogs more than him and his relatives.
Yep. To be specific on that, Best Friends Animal Society reported that Detroit Animal Care and Control saved just 20% of animals in 2015. State data placed the live release rate at 26%, according to the Daily Mail. That year, the agency euthanized 1,988 dogs and 272 cats for a total of 2,260 animals.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. Despite their treatment of women, despite their forcing them to wear burqas, despite them being allowed to beat their wives, despite all of the things that feminists and women leaders in this country refuse to call out the Muslim community on, the dog issue may be the straw that finally breaks the camel's back as to not being part of Western society. This dog issue and their hatred of dogs may simply be finally, oddly enough, a bridge too far for American people to deal with.
I agree. Well, more specifically, because the people who coddle them or anyone are leftists, and there are a lot of leftists, aka liberals, who love pets. Very famously, they like pets more than people. So if you have people who prefer dogs over people, then this is a bridge too far for them, and that can cut into their base because they have to coddle one or the other. It's like,
well, Mike Rogers, to his credit, who's a Republican running for the Senate in Michigan, who has a lead on this maniac, did a commercial today featuring his dog. How much he loved his pet dog.
I love it.
Very, very subtle, but his dog is apparently, I haven't seen it, but apparently his dog's in the video.
Speaking of primaries, on Tuesday when we left off, it was looking like Francisca Hong was going to, run away with things and become the Democratic governor nominee. I think they had a 20-point spread on her.
On 7, I don't know what Mark Halpern's talking about. This was on 9 different polls. It was across the board, different polling. She had somewhere in the range of 18 to 26% lead over week after week after week until the nighttime ballot dump out of Milwaukee of all of the votes for the black candidate who somehow had actually conceded the race. Milwaukee, all of a sudden, when her precincts were done counting, Milwaukee topped it by a couple of thousand. And I predict that that's going to happen to Mike Rogers out of Milwaukee unless he gets smart and prevents the other counties in Wisconsin from turning in their vote tallies on election day, Eric. Mike Rogers has got to get smart and not wait for Milwaukee to top his totals, giving this black guy the governorship of Wisconsin. Because this was Democrat on Democrat violence.
Wait, Mike Rogers, I thought was the Senate candidate in Minnesota. I'm sorry, I got confused.
Mike Rogers
Michigan,
is the Republican Senate candidate in Michigan versus El Said.
Hong is going against somebody else.
Hong is done. The black guy who won the primary is going to run against a Republican woman, I believe it is. And this crime that they perpetuated, where CNN and NBC went off the air, they literally ended their coverage, startled. The CNN guy was completely in shock, and NBC just pulled the plug on their election coverage because of what happened in Milwaukee. It was Tom Tiffany, I'm sorry. The black guy won the election literally when the ballots came out of Milwaukee, the late mail-in ballots. And Spencer Pratt has called it out as being exactly the same as what happened to Spencer Pratt here in Los Angeles. The point of the matter is both NBC and CNN didn't know what to say because it was obvious the irregularities. And then the Secretary of State, the woman, came out the next day and said 5 thumb drives were missing, blaming manual human error.
I know. And I was going to say that this is where it's so charming is to hear them have to scramble.
And the results. What we uncovered was that 5 of the sticks had the audit log downloaded and not the results. It's a human error. These things can happen.
Give me the human's name.
So
Give me the human's name.
What we need to do is go back to the operations center and we're going to download out of those 5 machines the results and make sure that's not the audit log. So we have the reports printed from the first download. We're going to reprint and start the process so that we can compare those results. We invite you to come join us. More police department will come with us too.
Tell us the name of the person who did it.
And then send them back here to be uploaded.
Look, the point of the matter is Tiffany is in for a rude awakening if he thinks they're not going to do this out of the upcoming race for governor. Because they did it against, there was all kinds of spin saying the Democrats have decided that Hung was too far left. And the black guy out of Milwaukee is just as far left. He's just not as stupid saying shit like she did. He's completely retarded as well. But the corruption
David Crowley.
David Crowley, I'm sorry. The corruption out of Milwaukee is not going to stop simply because Hong has been eliminated.
Yeah, sadly, the Republicans wanted Hong.
Yeah.
The fact if Hong made it, odds were very good that they would have the first Republican governor since, I think, Scott. I forget his last name. Yeah. somebody will remind me.
Yeah.
Guy ran for president forever.
Nevertheless, they're up against the Black Democratic machine in Detroit, and that is going to be Detroit and Milwaukee in these two particular races. And they have to wait out their vote count tally turn-ins and wait out these two major cities, because this is the game. Walker, thanks, man. This is the game, to wait out these red counties and then trump them by a couple of thousand votes. And I don't know how stupid the Republicans are and how many times this has to happen to them before they realize that LBJ did this in 1948. That's how fucking retarded the Republicans are. They still don't get it. Hundreds and hundreds of losses by urban vote dumps after their final tally, and these schmucks cannot seem to get the intelligence to withhold their final tallies until the cities are done. It's startlingly the most stupid thing I've ever seen in American politics.
You asked the impossible question.
Yeah, how stupid are they? Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm not where do you want to go with that?
That's the name of my new book. How stupid are they?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, it's just shocking. What is so fucking difficult? Memphis reporting in? Good. Let's see what Memphis has before we put the rest of Tennessee. St. Louis, Missouri, wait for St. Louis. Oh, it's too much trouble. Hey, I gotta go play golf. I gotta turn in my tallies in Schmuckface County, Missouri.
You know, I think I might have the solution, not only for them, but for our entire audience. Because perhaps the problem is that they feel like, you know what? Bed early because I work for a living. I get up in the morning. So to help fight this, I encourage all Republicans and all our audience to have some of our own coffee.
That might help.
Late at night and help make sure the shenanigans aren't occurring. I mean, sometimes you need a little bit of a bump, and we provide that with our own America's Untold Story Supreme Breakfast Blend, our original flavor, and our new Magic Bullet Blend. While we're talking about conspiracies, you can't get too far away from that. And all of you can do this. Help support us. And believe me, our show on Tuesday, we made no money of any kind whatsoever on or anything else. So when you buy things like this or whatever, you get great coffee, and it also gives us a little bit of a royalty whenever you buy some of them. I personally kind of drink my own habit, sadly. So the royalties are going to feed my coffee habit, but Mark will get something out of it.
Out of the coffee thing?
Yeah. Mark actually will get paid. I pretty much
I see what you're saying. Right.
Drinking the coffee on my habit. I think he'd spend some, but I have a giant coffee addiction.
Okay.
But anyway, you can support it by going to americasuntoldstories.com/coffee. If you're listening, you can point your phone at the screen right now. It'll take you immediately to the spot. And these two flavors are what gives us the royalty. Or there's a link in the description on pretty much every video we do if you want to get some in the future.
Just adding on to that thing, I would urge these county leaders to publicly state, if they want to do it, that they're not turning in their totals until the city does. I would go public with it, and because they're worried about being perceived as nefarious. Republican and conservatives are uptight about violating traditions. Who the fuck knows what their problem is? I would go public saying we are not turning in our tallies until the fill-in-the-blank blue city of this state turns in their final tally. Call their bluff. Their bluff. Have a press conference and say they're not getting the tallies until you're done in Milwaukee, until you're done in Detroit, until you're done in Philadelphia. Get smart, you retards. Get smart. Say it out loud. Be white and be proud. Put out a statement saying you're going to do this way.
But by the way,
let's see what they do. Then you'll see what.
There is precedent for that. Mayor John David Longo out of Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, who I met while I was up there in the Butler Farm thing, did just that in 2024. As the mayor said, we are withholding until the large cities are in. Please, all you other small cities, withhold. withhold until it comes in. So
I
there is
don't know
precedent.
what is so difficult of an ask for this obvious solution to this Machiavellian problem of the blue cities. I mean, are they mentally fucking retarded? I don't get it. No wonder Johnson and his cronies were laughing so much after they stole
They're
the
not
election.
criminally minded, Mark. That's part of the problem.
But are they politically minded? Forget about criminally minded. I'm just talking about hardball politics. What is so comprehensively difficult for them to figure this out?
It's it is a weakness. It's part of it's one of the things that could be that's admirable and infuriating.
Right.
In equal amounts.
Schoharie County were very efficient. We concluded our tallies an hour after the election, and we sent it into the state capitol. Have a nice night. And the state capitol said, thank you very much. Now we get the rest of the counties, and we'll see the actual number that we have to beat. Thank you. Thank you for participating.
Okay. All right. Well, as a departure, this is a crazy ass story here. And unbelievable. Mark, you played in football in high school at one time, right?
I played for Amityville High School. Yeah, the Amityville Horror. I was a wide receiver on a team that only ran.
Okay, well, guess what? I have a true horror story from high school football for you. At least it's a horror story to me. And that is this. High school football player practiced for an hour with a snake and helmet until coach's shock discovery.
Say what?
What? Yeah. What kind of snake? You're like, oh, that's scary. Well, it must be a little garden snake. No, it was a water moccasin or cottonmouth. You pick your term, venomous snake in his helmet for over an hour practicing. But wait, hold on. I will share so all of you can
motherfucking snakes in the helmet.
Mother effing snake in the helmet, and here it is. This is
him.
the helmet in the water. So let's go
right there. See his head?
Where?
Right.
Where?
Just
That's
keep
where
watching.
the bubbles.
Look for the
See?
bubbles.
That's his head.
Bubbles.
See?
That's his head.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll see more.
So he's to the right of that.
Yeah, he's where the black piece is.
What the fuck?
Oh, there's his tongue. I did.
It's coming. Don't worry.
You're freaking me out.
You should be.
Do we need to get
He's coming. Just wait.
I like that they put the water moccasin in water. That's helpful.
Oh yeah.
Somebody with your snake tongue.
The snake
Here it
tongue.
comes. Here it comes. Look in the middle of the screen.
Oh, you
to get
sneaky
out of this, and then
motherfucker.
we'll move this out.
Oh, motherfucking snakes on the plane.
Yeah. Here it is.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
It's coming up. Hold on. He's gonna come up, get a little air.
He's coming. Watch out. His head's about to be at the top of the.
Come on out. There he is. Peeking out.
It's terrifying.
He said, "Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing? What's up, everyone?"
I'll tell you the story. We were up in Levine's bungalow colony, and my grandmother and aunts were playing cards outside on a table. Yikes.
There he is. That was in the kid's helmet.
Look, you never know what's in the helmet, but my aunt and grandmother were playing cards with like six women. And my grandfather came out, and a water moccasin, not unlike that one, had curled itself around my Aunt Ruthie's leg, unbeknownst to her. And my grandfather saw it underneath the card table outside. This is outside the bungalows in the summer. And she froze, and it just unfurled itself on its own and slithered away. But she was apparently unaware that it was wrapped around her own leg. But the helmet story, I mean, I never had anything in my helmet at all, except my doubts about my ability. The coach said to me at one point, he said, "Grover, did you hear what the guy said about your mother on the other team?" He was trying to get me motivated, Eric. I said, "No, what did he say? How does he even know my mother?" And the guy says, "You're an idiot. Just get in there."
He's like, "I give up."
I give up with this brainiac.
Oh, all right. Anyway, yeah, that was the freakiest story of the week. I know
that was freaky, but
cool.
I got someone torn from the headlines after in the local show that I think are freakier than this.
You're going to have to really put up to be freakier than that.
Well, there's a couple of good ones.
I will see.
There's a couple of goodies in there, and we'll let the audience be the judge of which is freakier.
Yeah, we will let them be the judge because that's going to be a hard one to overcome. All right. Well, here's something that's freaky and chilling. It's a follow-up. We're going to be talking about this bit for a while. Chilling plan to expand flock cameras, vast U.S. surveillance network exposed.
Yeah. Apparently tens of thousands, Eric.
120,000 more than are currently watching the streets.
This is like the UK.
Yeah, and they're wanting to incorporate 350,000 dash cams
into one network or something.
Yeah, it sounds like you could be just tracked everywhere. You know,
ring
like
cams, also ring cams.
I think so. Any camera anywhere that has footage, I'm sure they're going to try to, find their way into. And they proposed this expansion in August 2025. I'm glad that they're slowly but surely getting exposed. But
what's with Georgia? Why are they leading the way on this thing?
I don't know. I mean, Atlanta.
They were talking about two states this morning on two-way, and one was Georgia, and the other was Arizona, your home state, about the odd Republicans that have been involved in those two states. And they went into some detail about the McCain, Goldwater type Republicans. Apparently, Cindy McCain is in bed with the Democratic governor now. Politically, and then the Georgia Republicans are another separate breed. But both of those states seem to be problems to Republicans, and Ossoff has a 95-point lead to be reelected to the Senate over, in polymarket terms, 95% to 5 over the Republican candidate. It's just astounding numbers for a southern state and ostensibly used to be a red state, Arizona. Just shocking what's wrong with these two states.
The problem is that the same people who love the Patriot Act tend to be Republicans, and flock cameras are the same mindset. It's that mentality of, oh, it's going to stop crime. What do you care? If you haven't done anything wrong, you shouldn't be worried about it.
With Arizona, they pointed out that they have a libertarian streak as to their problem. And that would mean that I don't think libertarians.
No, they would hate the cameras.
Right. So I'm saying that doesn't make any sense for Arizona, but Georgia.
But they have plenty of law and order types. John McCain was no libertarian. And
no. They were talking about the overall political makeup of the state leans, as you're probably more aware than I am, and they have very libertarian overtones to the state now.
I think there's a battle in there because Joe Arpaio was no libertarian. There was a long history of law and order types who, hey, they love surveillance. It's convenient. But I am happy that there is a libertarian bent of the people tearing them down and going against them and causing unrest. I had another bit earlier of, like a guy with a worker truck who just had some sort of a boom on and just swung boom and knocked the camera.
Oh, that was a good
sideways.
move. No, it just seems like a schism between libertarians and Republicans over this one issue is the reason I'm bringing it up. Because it shows you two different political viewpoints, and libertarians tend to vote with MAGA and at the end of the day. But here is a clear delineation of political goals.
Yeah, it's like weed. Weed's another one that, it's
weed's
very
another
much
one.
libertarians love it. Open borders, libertarians love open borders. Right wingers don't. Republicans. So the right does have a schism with the libertarian side.
Absolutely. This is another one, though.
Oh, yeah. Anti-surveillance, which I
thought you were going to say anti-Semitism. You say anti-surveillance.
Are you sensitive? No.
I'm a little hypersensitive.
Okay.
I've got PTSD over it.
Yeah. And here we go. This is Dustin, who we know. he's kind of treading in the middle. Not sure how I feel about them. Sort of
See?
thing. Privacy is not expected when you leave the house.
There you go. There you go.
I just disagree. I think that you don't have to monitor everything everywhere. And
can we ask Dustin what's going on with Sherrod and Vivek over there in Ohio and the two different races? What is going on? Why can't Republicans win in Ohio?
Well, there are theories about that. I know he's talked to me on the side. One, it looks like Vivek is going to lose.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying
and part of the issue is that he was really running for president again, even as governor, without focusing there.
Weird.
Then there's also the argument, though, that a lot of people kind of see him, I think, as a carpetbagger.
Yeah.
And just, using them and not really focused on the state at all.
Well, that battle between Mark and Larry this morning over the othering of El Said, I mean, he was just taunting him. It was, dude, it was unmerciful. And fucking Larry almost walked off. I mean, he was saying, don't put words in my mouth. At one point at the end of the banter by Halpern, he said, you know that I'm right. You just won't admit it. About the racist overtones of the campaign against El Said in Michigan. And Larry just refused to buckle. And he later said in half mocking terms that maybe they're othering Vivek in Ohio when there was no response by Halpern.
No, well, and Halpern has a tendency that he will egg on Larry and say a bunch of shit, and then Larry will just start burying him with a list of facts. It's like, we got to move on.
That's what he did today. Today was the worst example I've ever seen of it.
No, okay.
He just kept saying, Larry. Come on, Larry.
Okay, Dustin's saying that Vivek is in better shape than Husted, but it's a barn burner.
For both.
Yeah, apparently.
Whew.
I mean,
he's got a 10-point lead, Sherrod Brown, over this guy.
And by the way, Ohio went clearly for Trump.
Right, that's
Trump
why they
endorsed Vivek. He should have walked in. He should have walked away.
I agree.
There's no excuse.
They may lose both of these.
Yeah. And somebody said Amy Acton is a white Kamala Harris. That might be, but she's winning, and it's sad.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. By the way, to follow up, I had mentioned before that the left, obviously we're talking about flock cams, but I said even body cams are controversial. And you said, what? Is there a story about it? Here's a story about it from January of this year. Again, all of a sudden, the left doesn't want police to wear body cams. And leftist author says, well-meaning liberals have been fooled into supporting body cams, which should stop being used. They have been an essential propaganda tool.
Psych.
So that's what I was trying to talk about, is the fact that the body cams, they knew, oh, hey, you get body cams on the cops, we're going to get a bunch of fired cops. We're going to show the world how they're abusing everybody. And it turns out that the majority of the time, the cops are in the right. And there are even YouTube channels tracking
there's an entire show which I think is produced by the squatting producers of just body cam on Discovery, a cop show like the one with the squatters, which is a separate show. Somehow they've gotten a hold, like the cops people did, and now have gotten a hold of body cam footage to create a narrative storyline for these episodes.
Well, you know what? I think that's just an extension of what I was saying that they're doing on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because it is public record, technically.
Yeah.
And you grab it, and I mean, it's all kinds of drama and material. Just a voiceover to, fill in the narrative, lines that you need, if possible.
Well, or reenactments. I mean, that's why I was telling you about the 9/11 show, which is on HBO Max. Also public records that they've gotten a hold of and built narrative shows around them. And there's 3 per episode with 9/11.
Yeah. And
I mean 9/11, 9/11, not
and it's a never-ending supply of material.
Never-ending supply. I mean, it's the best crime show I've seen in years. because you get 3 different episodes in one episode, 3 different cases in one episode.
Yeah. By the way, people,
and you don't know at the beginning if they're real or not real.
Midwest Safety, I think, is a good one if you want to check that out, with body cam and police cam, car cam. So they have chases, and what's cool is because they can subpoena all the body cam footage.
Yeah,
you can have literally the chase.
Yeah,
them going in the facility, interviewing witnesses.
The body cam is a gift that keeps on giving for TV. I mean, because that is better than the 911 call.
And all you got to do is pay an editor. I mean, it's damn near free. You don't have to pay that many people for talent, right? I mean, here it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you're reenacting, and you do have to pay actors to reenact and everything.
Okay, if you do. I mean, by the way, speaking of reenacting, there's a clip floating around of Matthew McConaughey, who he did a reenactment on one of those. It wasn't 48 Hours. It was like one of the smaller ones from like the 90s. And it's kind of funny. He was like out there, mowing the lawn, and he was going out with the wife, and then he was murdered. It's very funny.
Well, in Florida, man, another show that I recommend, it's chock full of reenactments of incredibly insane things in Florida with stars doing the reenactments. So I highly recommend Florida Man, which is a kind of a tongue-in-cheek, although it gets extremely dark, that has major stars playing the actual characters in the reenactments. And I mean unusual stars.
Well, I mean, when you get into Florida, man, like I've talked about Adam Carolla having his Florida or Germany. There's so many weird things and weird people that are in Florida and Germany that, yeah, it could get very dark. I don't know what this is. I didn't have a chance to read into it. Do you know what a cookie stuffing scheme is?
No.
All right. Well, Bill Gates' daughter Phoebe accused of cookie stuffing scheme that has a max penalty of 20 years in prison.
What's cookie stuffing?
Well, let me see if we can figure this out. Bill
You've
Gates
got this other
baby,
article
Phoebe,
up there, by the way.
Oh,
you have the body cam article up there. I'm sorry.
Let me try this. Okay. Bill Gates' daughter Phoebe accused of cookie stuffing scheme that has a max penalty of 20 years in prison. Reports say Bill Gates' Nepo baby daughter Phoebe Gates, 23, has been accused of cookie stuffing at her multi-billion-dollar startup FIA, an illicit practice that comes with a maximum penalty of 20 years in federal prison, according to reports. She's a digital FIA, is a digital personal shopping assistant co-founded by Gates and fellow Stanford alum Sophia Kiani. Oh, I see. Reacted with shock in July following reports that it was dropping more web cookies than it should, taking undue credit for online sales at retail partners. Okay, this sounds like the honey scam, and I can explain that real quickly if you're interested. Everybody who's been watching YouTube for a while has been given an opportunity to get honey, which is a plugin on their browser. You go to a site and it'll find a coupon code so you can save money with honey, right? It was a big deal. PayPal owns them. Well, it turns out that the influencers were recommending honey, and honey, whenever you went to a site, if you put in a code and you had that, they would steal those codes. And
weird.
Right when you put it in, replace it with one of their codes.
Oh my God, that's great. Is that what she's doing?
I think that might be what's going on here, something of that manner. So they would get a commission when they buy a product. It's a really, really dirty
that's dirty
affair. There's a video about it, a couple videos by a creator called Megalog. I recommend everybody check it out. But whatever you do, consider not using honey or caveat emptor. They are taking codes allegedly and even swapping it out. So like if you and I had a code because we had a sponsor and we were like, use AUS to save, whatever. Honey would replace it with their own code right after people put it in.
So dark.
And ironically, we would be the ones telling our audience to use Honey. So we would be doing it to ourselves. And I know you've got to be shocked that it's a PayPal company because PayPal's on such an up and up.
Well, I'm also shocked about the Cash App killing of the founder of Cash App up in San Francisco. The guy's on trial now. This Muslim guy knifed the CEO of Cash App to death in his luxury apartment building and is now citing racism on part of the prosecution as part of his defense. He killed the CEO because the CEO did drugs with his sister at a party. So he decided that his sister, who is a more assimilated Muslim than he is.
That's not halal. Yeah. Sorry.
Right. This guy went full Ali Akbar on this guy, and it seemed to be a crime without any reason until it's been revealed in court yesterday. This is a trial that's happening right now up in San Francisco.
Wow. Wow. So, okay, speaking of people in the news, the Tate brothers, it's just kind of funny. Apparently, they had a cache of passports under aliases, including a Bond villain.
Including the name of a Bond villain?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's funny.
Vladimir Scorpius. It was the name of the main villain in the spy novel Scorpius, according to court documents. And they're showing some of the fake IDs. Now, I would argue that somebody who brags about how much money they have and lines of luxury cars and lives in Romania and all over the place with a bunch of passports, would you consider him a flight risk?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, my God, if you're ever setting yourself up to say, no, you will not be released on bail, I can't think of a better reason than that. But speaking of aliases and IDs, I don't know if you heard of this woman, not her, this one.
What's this
I'll
one?
get to her in a minute.
What's the trans killer of the week?
She's not trans. Hold on, she's not trans.
But I'm
She's just a psycho.
We should have a segment.
That's true. That's
in
true.
Upcoming episodes with just trans killer of the week.
Yeah, no.
I'll forget it. Remember
this
that.
was just a standard psycho. But anyway, aliases using suspect in murder of dad found zip tied in a shallow grave, arrested after 7 weeks on the run.
Oh,
I want you to look at her T-shirt that she was caught in.
Oh, that's not good. That's
Force
not
to
good.
be reckoned with. Now, let me explain why I'm like, yeah, no shit. They found this guy she killed buried in a shallow grave that supposedly her roommate or friend helped dig. She buried it, then put concrete over it because the dog apparently dug him out before. So she killed the guy with a zip tie around the neck.
Yeah.
Put him in there, covered it with concrete, parked the car over it, and then was on the lam.
Wow, she really went the extra mile.
Yeah, and apparently had a bunch of aliases. And oh, by the way, notice that she's got shackles on. So you know this woman is a force to be reckoned with.
Damn.
She is, truth in advertising.
You can't judge a book by its cover, and you can't judge a psycho by their outward appearances any longer. There used to be psychos look like psychos, child predators look like child predators, but now it's a much more wide open field.
Yeah, I agree, and she's a 5'3" ball of terror,
ball of hell.
Yeah, so that is she's not
psycho of the week.
Yeah, just normal psycho of the
psycho of the week versus trans killer of the week. 2 upcoming episodes.
Exactly. Now, while we're talking about coddling different groups and things like that, I don't know if you saw this. I would expect to see this in Detroit or in Michigan, but Dallas Fort Worth Airport to install Islamic foot wash stations.
Oh, for the love
inside
of
the
God.
bathrooms.
Oh, my Lord. I can't wait to get in there.
And
oh, my Lord.
You know what's really sad about it is they sort of have a almost legitimate defense as to why they're doing it.
Health reasons.
Health and safety reasons. And let me explain, because when I read it, I was like, oh shit, they've got a point. There's a problem with them using sinks and having water all over the floor, which is causing people to slip. And they're like, we're just trying to keep people safe by putting that there. Now, the same argument could be made because I had a former girlfriend who worked in a gas station in not Barstow, but the town right next to Barstow. Is like on the interstate, and the tour buses would come by, and these tour buses would have people from Asia who did not use toilets in the same manner. They like to stand on the seats and squat and pee all over or on the drains.
Whoa.
And,
you don't have to go into that much detail.
Anyway, so I'm just saying that sometimes the different cultures work. And I don't know if we should have to accommodate every damn culture. Oh, wait, no, you get a foot bath here. Oh, no, you're going to get your own bathroom. But
I mean, I just want to point out the obviously insane Sharia accommodation that our own democratic society is doing. This is 1% of the American population. 1% and they're putting in tens of thousands of dollars in accommodation for these mutts all over the country. I mean, the prayer rugs that are selling down at Ground Zero, these mosques that are being built in Texas, like as fast as possible. Nobody seems to want to put a stop on these things and say, maybe this is a bridge too far, Eric.
I agree. I agree. And I do find it trouble. And again, it's Texas. If I said it was
if
Michigan,
not Texas,
like, here we go again, but
if not Texas, then if that's not sacred, then what is? I mean, of putting in foot baths, I mean, it's just insane. Well, I'm just saying they've got all of these things about Sharia law, and now all of these calls 7 times a day with giant fucking megaphones in these cities. These cities are completely no-go zones. Amtrak up in Michigan and other ones, there are no-go zones, and nobody seems to give a fuck to push back against them. This weekend, a group of Christians are going into that Muslim city of Hamtramck, and the chief of police, who's a Muslim, is urging Americans not to come to this city to protest. Well, boo fucking who? There's a group of people coming there from all over the country who are white Christians.
Yeah, I think I had that story.
Oh, that would be cool.
The Dearborn police chief begs residents to please stay home ahead of the.
When did they say that? When they were marching for all kinds of different leftist causes? Please stay home and not come to L.A. To protest ICE or to protest ICE in Dearborn.
Yeah, this guy, Ham Chop.
Yeah.
Or Pork Chop.
Issa Shaheen. It must be Italian, the guy, right?
Yeah. Well, look at his. He looks like. Oh no, it's not. Okay, it almost looked like the pork chop, thing going. But
yeah.
Please stay home. Oh boy. Well, lovely.
Well, I'm glad somebody's doing something.
I am too. Well, okay. Well, speaking of doing something, a judge actually did something decent in Nevada. It's only taken 6 years, but let's see. The judge drops Nevada case against electors accused of forging certificate in 2020 election. Remember
that took 6 years.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Remember when they sent up the alternate slate of electors? I think Michigan
like they do in every single election going back to Roosevelt. But yeah.
Well, they finally dropped the case, so they're able to, I guess, move on from there. I did want to, say.
Well, I'm not moving on because these people had to be arrested for the damage that they did to these people.
Okay, fair enough. But first, get them off the hook.
No, I agree. I agree, but there's got to be a lot more retribution here.
I agree. Sadly, statute of limitations probably run out on doing anything, but whatever. All right. I saw this headline and this is actually almost 2 weeks old now. It somehow just passed by me. America hits major marijuana milestone as daily weed use surpasses daily drinking.
Yeah, there was an article about the liquor industry being upset about the young generation not drinking anymore, and they left out an important fact in the story. It's not that they're not getting high, they just switch substances.
Right. Well, I find it particularly scary because it's not even legal technically in every state. There's different variants of it. So if it's number one and it's not even universal, holy shit. But here's the clip.
Well, first of all, you hit a lot of it already. We're talking 70 to 80 million people now are using it every year. That's 4 times what it was 20 years ago.
Yep.
And they're not using the same product either. Potency is way up, and it's also variable. So you could have 30 to 40% THC content, the active chemical in cannabis, and you don't necessarily know it. And the more that you use high potency cannabis, the more you need. That's the addiction piece of this. People get both psychologically and physically addicted to marijuana or to cannabis products. And you made a couple of other great points, Griff. The developing brain, studies are showing, is way more susceptible to the impact in terms of thinking, memory, judgment than when you get older. And it's the developing brain, unfortunately, in our society that we're seeing most of it. And one more point you just made about these 2 big studies in JAMA Internal Medicine and Lancet show that a lot of these claims that marijuana helps with anxiety, depression, PTSD, bipolar disorder are bogus. It doesn't help with that most of the time or almost all of the time. And furthermore, high potency pot actually increases your risk of mental health problems.
No.
Especially if you have an underlying tendency towards
No,
anxiety and
how
psychosis.
shocking.
We're seeing ERs.
But Mark, I've been smoking for 40 years and I don't have a job, but I don't think it's had any harm on me. I'm completely functional in American society.
Well, Mark, I was feeling depressed, and so I smoked another joint and I felt better.
Interestingly enough, Romy Reiner, Nick's sister.
Oh, yeah, who he's super close to, right?
Well, I don't know how close they are, but she admitted smoking 25 joints a day throughout her entire teenage life. She's only 28 now. But 25 joints every single day for over 10 years. And then she had to go on antidepressants, she said.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. I've got, well, while we're at freak out stories, let me share this one here that you sent me.
Me?
Yeah. I think you were going to get a Laguna. Great white shark circle swimmer off of California coast and new video. Let's see what we got.
I think this might be Malibu where I was going to go tomorrow.
Okay.
I was going to go tomorrow. Yeah.
Look at that. Hi. These drone footage,
yeah,
the drones are really showing a lot more sharks, I think, than people realize.
Right. I mean, granted, they're not attacking people, but I don't want to swim with sharks, to quote a phrase. But you don't know when you go in there unless you have some aerial drone shot like this. Some of these great whites were so enormous that they've never seen these. A lot of it is because of El Nino and the warm water, and it is extremely warm. I was in it not too long ago. It's much, much warmer, maybe even 76 degrees. So the sharks are coming in because of the warmth.
I don't know. That's one of my fears, and I'm not going to say it's irrational because I don't think it is.
Definitely not irrational, but look at this guy.
And he can't see that. There's no way.
Of course not. My fear is menstruating women who go in not knowing that there's sharks in there, and they could smell the blood of the menstruating women.
That's true.
Yeah, and it might be teenage girls or older women or whatever. I don't think they're just going to bite a random guy, but they may go after someone who is menstruating.
They may. There's the other problem too, like surfers, they confuse them with seals because of the shape and the shadows. But it's been pointed out, and I was like, oh God, that's a very good but scary point, that we are not naturally part of their food chain, but they don't have opposable thumbs. They can't feel and smell. They have one way to determine what you are. They take a bite
biting.
and go,
biting.
oh, that's not my food group. And then they go move on. Meanwhile, you're
Well, how
part
many
of a limb
times
that's
have
missing, you're dying.
they've opened them up and found tin cans and buoys and toys in them? I mean, there's all kinds of things inside the gut of a shark.
Yeah. How do they know without trying? Oh, no, that doesn't taste good. But either way. Well, this will make me feel better, at least, and that is we get a little bit of fan support, and thank you all, by the way. It's been, like I said, brutal with YouTube. Pamela, loyal as can be, coming in. Thank you so much, and she's been a member now for 34 months, so heading into 3 years. Happy Friday, guys, and thank you, Pamela. Happy Friday to you. I hope your family's doing well. MG9 1860 with the super sticker. Thank you. Ken Martin for all you do. Thank you, Ken. Thank you very, very much. Dr. Evil saying the world needs ditch diggers too. I agree. It does need ditch diggers.
Well, that split that they were talking about today in the Michigan race for Senate of white women with college degrees versus white women without college degrees was astonishing. The white women with college degrees, almost 65% supporting El Said, and the white women without college degrees, almost the exact number supporting the Republican candidate. Just shocking sociological break among white women. Just as one group, complete reversal with the degree, Eric.
I agree. I think that the ditch digger comment might be tied in with that teacher who was talking about the students that couldn't read.
Okay.
I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Right, but they're not going to become ditch diggers. They're just going to become illiterate. The people who called into Larry Elder got weird jobs, like working for the electric company and faking it for many years. A couple of them went back to school and got GED diplomas and learned how to read and write. But he said he faked it for many, many years to the threat to the security of the people around him on these various jobs.
You know what I really wish, and I don't know if it could happen or not, but the people who did get through the system and wound up, getting the GED and learning everything, I wish they would become the teachers. I really do, because then they know what to look for. They know every trick, everything hidden, but they also can say, hey,
my wish is that they get together for a class action suit against the public school system itself that created them, and sue the schools for doing that to them and not performing their tax-paying, legally ordered job.
Okay. How about
that? Would be. I mean, there must be some lawyer out there who could round these people up and put together a class action suit. Are you illiterate? Call me. Late night TV.
Just don't print it.
Are you?
Make sure you say it. Don't write it down, Mark. That's going to be a problem. Don't use billboards. I'm sorry.
But they late night commercials. Are you stoned? Are you up late? Are you illiterate? Hi, this is Jacoby and Meyer.
Exactly.
Remember, we can't call you. You have to call us.
I agree. I agree. Shelly of Texas at the Rumble Ramp, $20. Thank you. Said happy to see you live.
As opposed to dead.
Well, anyway, yes. It depends on the moment.
He hates that guy Paxton, Mark Alpern. He does not miss an opportunity. Yeah, he does not miss an opportunity to denounce Paxton and support Tallarico down in Texas where this young lady lives.
Yeah, I think his liberal bona fides are coming out. Sorry, it's been too long. He was playing it straight for a while, but now
I mean, isn't Tallarico really a newly packaged version of Beto O'Rourke?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, how'd that work out?
Probably a little worse.
His commercials that Tallarico ran was he stole He stole a pen from somebody who had gotten the pen, and it was somehow thrown in the garbage in a courthouse. And he went through the garbage, Paxton, and recovered the pen and kept it. There's an entire commercial about Tallarico will not steal your pen. I swear to God. I mean, this is the level that they're coming up with to criticize Paxton.
Wow, I knew
he stole someone's pen.
I heard about the Paw commercial, but I didn't hear this one. So okay, well, good times. AV8 Picks, Christopher Ebden said NYC board, BORED, of ed teachers with a master's degree makes $77,455 to start, $68,902 without masters. Charlie FLA 4204. The DSA is turning the Democratic Party into something like the Manson family with their crazy ideas. Guys like Hassan Piker and Mandami are their Mansons.
Whoa. Whoa.
I do think that's the one thing I do like about Wesley, the guy who Mark loves, by the way, when you're talking about that. Halpern loves him. He was tweeting about him the other day. The one that beat Hong. He's so good, because he said he was not going to campaign with Hassan Piker. He's like, no.
Oh yeah, that's a deal breaker. That's a deal breaker.
And I'm like, well, of course he's got to have a brain. William Ratcliffe said, another great show. Thanks, guys. Thank you, William Ratcliffe. Over on Rumble with the rant, we have King of Biltong saying, fuel your day with dried sausage from Biltong USA, clean ingredients and serious protein, not lighthearted protein. Not jovial protein, but serious protein. Perfect for road trips, work, or snack time, anytime. Go to Biltong USA, use code AUS for 10% off. And Dustin, the people who got 2022 midterms wrong are likely to get 2026 wrong for the same reason. Waves are unlikely to occur in large numbers and misreading the real political alignments.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's 400 different elections that have no connection. It's not, and they nationalize these things in their mind for simplicity's sake. But he's right about that. This is 450 elections where some guy goes into Providence, Rhode Island. It has nothing to do with Santa Cruz, California, for congressional seats.
Yeah, you've got like the Troy Jacksons, whose mother of his children is his second cousin, so his children are his third cousins.
Oh,
Think
that's
about
scary.
that.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Well, third cousins once removed, technically.
By the way, if you work in the New York City school system for about 8 years, which that starting salary is correct, but after 6 or 8 years, you're up to the 130,000 mark.
Right.
Yeah, but that is the opening number.
K-Dog 4703 said LeBron and his son were the first father/son duo in the NBA. They could make history again by being the first mother-daughter duo in the WNBA. Great time to be alive. I agree.
That's a good one.
I agree. Yeah, why not sweep it? By the way, did you know they had a meeting?
Yeah. Yep.
And guess what they couldn't determine?
Anything.
Well, they can't determine.
Yeah, no, they just passed the buck. They have no answer to this because it would undermine their insane pseudoscience.
Yeah. Greg said, I expected Luigi Mangione to use a trial as a political platform with speeches for the media like old school leftist/reds/fascist did.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
He was doing it with the preliminary hearings and stuff.
Yeah.
I think somebody said, okay, look, how bad do you want it to be inside?
Yeah.
You're going down. Play along, or
he's never going to see the light of day, rightfully so. I mean, he had his 6 seconds of fame. Now it's over.
All right. Taylor Pollock 7405 said, we are from St. Louis, can confirm on the election fraud.
Thank you.
Never forget when during an election we had a jurisdiction go from 10% to dim to 80% dim in 5 minutes. Give me a break. Agree with Mark. Why is this hard? It's obvious. Yeah.
You got me. I just got here, bro. I just got here. I can't figure out why some of this obvious stuff is not working.
And LA is a perfect example because
Yeah,
Karen
yeah.
Bass didn't get any of the votes either. So they can't just
No.
say the Republican. And I
No.
think they should. I really do think they should investigate hard, especially the Wisconsin one, because
Yeah.
this is Democrat on Democrat crime.
Absolutely.
Don't give me this partisan bullshit.
The feds should come down just as hard on this election as they would on any other election, which they seem not to want to touch. But the only people who can touch this are the feds at this point. They're not going to investigate themselves.
Right. And because they're part of a Republican administration, it'd be like, hey, when we get nothing out of it, it's Democrat versus Democrat. This is corruption.
Again, for people who want to separate state rights from the rest of the stuff, I don't care about the governor races. I just care about these congressional and U.S. Senate races. I believe legally the feds have a right and a jurisdictional ability to challenge the federal elections, not the gubernatorial of a state or the mayor of a city. But I think that they can make the legal case that they have the right to intervene on federal elections only.
I think they could.
Oh,
they should have a right to intervene on both personally. And
I know, but
because the state offices, like a governor, has a lot of power.
Again, that could be argued till the end of time. But I think congressional elections in California, where they're going to wait 4 weeks until they turn in their count to make sure they have control of the House, is what I'm referring to.
No, I understand that, and I want those as well. I just don't want.
Well, you want everything. You just want everything.
Yes. Why stop halfway?
Well, we have nothing right now, so I'm just saying.
Well, what I'm saying is you have opportunity to go Democrat on Democrat, and you have precedents now. Just nail them anywhere you can. If you can get the evidence and it's clear, I don't care if it's LA
I'm just
mayor
trying to
or
give
that.
a simple angle to the story. Neither one has been pursued, but the congressional seats, I believe, are under federal jurisdiction. So.
All right. Al Gonzalez out of New York. They were worried about a surface-to-air missile bringing down Air Force One, yet they won't admit the truth about the TWA 800 getting hit with one.
That's true. I mean, you could hide in the bushes with that stinger like they did on Long Island for TWA 800 just as easily as you can hide in the bushes at JFK or in this case, Trump International Airport in Palm Beach. There's plenty of bushes and shrubs around that airport that you could get embedded with a Stinger missile.
All right. Coming in hot, Edward McLaughlin with $50. Thank you so much. You said good idea, Mark. And I don't know which one.
I think he's talking about the counting of the ballots.
It could be. I don't know. But, awesome. And by the way, thank you. That's very generous. I mean, I don't want to shortchange that in any way. And then, but coming in even hotter, Beavis Wallace said, "Hey, I'm doubling down, $100." Great show, Wally World, as in Walmart. Just kidding. Obviously, the movie. Question: how did Chevy Chase end up in the "You Can Call Me Al" video? Freeform Friday to everyone, please. Drummer. I bet the musical.
No. He was friends with Paul Simon through Lorne Michaels, and Lorne Michaels asked him to do him a favor.
Oh, okay.
There's a short answer to that, Beavis.
But they had fun with it too. I think that worked so well, having him lip sync the lyrics and stuff. I mean, it was a very clever, original video at the time.
Yeah, Simon and Lorne Michaels were best friends, oddly enough.
Huh. Okay. Oh, yeah. Why not? You never know who's buddies with whom and why. But on that note, we are going to shift over to locals at unstructured.locals.com, where we will be doing Torn from the Headlines, which we teased a little bit earlier. Something's going to be coming out of that. Mark is promising stories that will make your skin crawl. So,
well, unusual stories. Let me put it that way.
I like the skin crawling kind. So
okay.
We'll
there's a couple. I think there's a couple in there now that I think about it.
Okay, so we hope to see you over there. And if not, if you said, oh, hell no, I'm not going to go, well, then eventually you will see the segment. But you could be seeing it live with a bunch of cool people commenting and talking about it. You could post on your own, all kinds of things if you're over on the locals and a supporter. But either way, we will see you next time.